Minasan, konnichi, what's up? Today I am going over the brand new AP Japanese Language and Culture exam. Just first part of I'm hoping to do at part 6 or 7. 6, 7. Yeah. So today I'm just gonna go over what it's gonna be. Um Mainly the format of the test exams, and then how much of the time allotted for each questions and so forth. So just to kind of prepare you guys or prepare the teachers mentally, I just kind of summarized it. I just finished attending the AP Summer Institute here in Hawaii, and it was a pretty good learning experience. But certain things you just have to kind of go and figure by yourself by doing or teaching by, I guess, practicing the exam type and prototypes. Yeah, throughout the year. I am not planning to change anything drastically how I teach throughout the year. However, I would have to sort of like shorten the a period of time where I teach normal units. And then as soon as the end of January comes, so like February, March, and good part of April, I would have to prepare my students for the free response question part, which I'm going to go dig deeper. So if you scan this QR code, it would take you to AP Japanese exam description, and it has everything you need to know, but it has like a freakishly long document. It's like close to 200 pages. So no one wants to read it. Maybe you can ask a ChatGPT or any kind of AI to summarize it for you. But if you watch my video, you would probably know. And because I'm doing it as a from the perspective of a teacher, I would say an experienced teacher, so it will be probably more helpful. So anyway, let's get started. I hope you're not going to use this. Don't take a screenshot and use this into make it into a slideshow. Please don't do that. Okay, so my agenda or the today I'm just going to do a part one video, which is the exam timing and then what's new, what's the overview of the exam. And you're probably going to have what? What is this? What is that? And so many questions. So I will start filming more, hopefully, because my school is starting like in a week and a half. So I'm hoping to keep you updated. So starting from the what's called project. What the heck is that? Yes, this is a speaking part, yo. And then a project and something else. Yeah, I'm in the project, I guess. And then there are two parts in the writing: story narration and email response. That's the first part of the exam, followed by the multiple choice question, MCQ. Slightly different from previous years, but I will tell you how to prepare for the free response questions and multiple question choice questions as I update more videos, and some I'll share some resources that I find helpful. And then kanji. Kanji is a big part of AP exam, but you know what? Don't limit yourself and don't study the list because it's not going to help you. Kanji is something that I cried when I when I learned when I was little. I grew up in both Japan and U.S., so I know how you feel, how to learn kanji, and it's not easy. And if you don't use it, you lose it. Uh, yeah, exactly. Because that's what happened to me. Anyway, so I'll go over all of these in separate parts of the videos. Today is part one. What's new? First of all, when is the exam? So if you look into AP College Board website, they're so scattered. They just keep doing updating here and there. Oops, I forgot to update this part. So you're gonna see on the College Board uh, video, the website, as, oh, it's gonna be Wednesday, May 12th, and the afternoon. Nope, they rescheduled it. So it's gonna be May 11, Tuesday, that is, and our exam, Japanese language and culture, are scheduled same time as pre-cal. I don't know pre-cal what level, but it is. And I have so many students who are taking pre-cal too. So, well, I highly recommend you take Japanese language if you're taking both. Take this on the day of the exam. You know why? The second exam, the makeup exam, tends to be more difficult in the past. So if I were you, I would not take pre-cal to get first and then reschedule Japanese language for a later day, because the question type will be a little bit more, difficult. I'll tell you what it is. But anyway, if you scan this QR code, it will take you to the updated, I think, website. All right. So what's new? Ta-da! I'm going to show you what's new. This is what's new. So there have always been section 1 and section 2. In the past, section 1 always was like the multiple choice. You sort of like, slowly prep into your brain, like start cooking your brain kind of thing. However, this year, starting this school year, you are going to be asked to speak first and to write or type next from the get-go. Starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, you're going to have to talk, boy. Girls and boys. Yeah. So get your, I don't know, sleep pattern, like, adjust your sleep pattern and be ready to be able to say stuff in the morning. It may be super early for you, 8 o'clock in the morning. For me, I wake up super early on weekdays, so it's not that bad, but yeah. And then after that, you would have the multiple choice questions for listening first and reading. Okay, so today I'm gonna just kind of give you what kind of questions you're talking about, free response questions, and percentage ratio or uh, spread scores in terms of the different sections. Okay, so let's get started. Oh yeah, this guy, I just said, what? Because you need to talk early in the morning. So yes, it's 8 o'clock, Maine. And then you start with the project presentation. I forgot to mention this whole new concept of this project presentation is completely different from until last year. We had, remember, I don't know if you know, we had an exam that present your own view and perspective on blank, like a cultural perspective topic. Like last year was a role of transportation in Japan or Japanese society or something like that. And so you're going to talk about all this densha, shinkansen, kuruma, basu, basically kokyo no kotsu kikan, something like that. Like public transportation system is so well developed, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And then I love using the Suica. So like Suica, the IC card, that kind of stuff. If you knew about it and you could stretch things, that would have been perfect. But you had to, you did not know the topic of the presentation until the day of, the morning of, or the afternoon of. However, this year, starting this year, your teacher will receive the entire AP teacher, world. The College Board will give a topic of the present project at the end of January. Yes, you heard it. Yes, you get the project topic. And we already know this year, it's broad, so we can kind of start preparing for it. This year's unit choice of the unit is arts and creativity, specifically on music. Did you write it down? It's on arts and creativity, and the topic is music. What comes in mind first when you hear about that in music of Japan? J-pop? Fujikaze? Ado? I don't know. You think about it. Or like how does music uh, play, what kind of role it plays in the society or family or school or, everything. So you sort of like start having a brainstorm maybe in your class. That would be helpful. And then maybe start picking up a few vocabulary here and there. And then and then you're going to prepare a thing called personalized research something paper, something like that. I forget what it is. It's like a kind of a cheat sheet for your speech, and then you're gonna have to submit it by the end of April 2027 to College Board. All the exam, not just AP Japanese, will be done by Blue Book. So you would be submitting your presentation, basically summary, in typed in Japanese by the end of April. So you have February, March, and April to prepare for presentation and practice. You will be making the same presentation in 3 minute in length. You could sort of memorize part of it, but you don't know exactly what the prompt will be. You know the topic, that is music, but you don't know the prompt. So I'll dig deeper into how we can prepare for this speech part. So I just want to you will have something to remind you what you researched on or what you practiced on. The College Board will give you a printout of that you had previously submitted in Blue Book. Okay, so that's happening. So you will be sort of like rewriting or prepping for 3 minutes, and then you're gonna start presenting for a 3 minute speech. Unlike the last year's cultural perspective presentation, you don't necessarily have to speak full on close to 3 minutes. Before I used to instruct my students, hey, it's a 2 minute speech. It would be, your points would be deducted if you don't speak more than like minute and a half. That was the instruction that I used to give. And I think that was a scoring guide. But this year, it's not necessarily. I mean, you don't want to stop after 1 minute. That's a little too short. But I think I would say as long as you speak like little over 2 minutes, and then you get all the criteria, you satisfy all the criteria, you're good to go. So it's either gotten more difficult or gotten easier. I don't know. You judge. You be the judge. And this is a biggest score making test exam segment. So 20% of the score goes into this presentation itself. All right, this is speaking. And then after a few seconds, okay, let's get to the second part of the speaking prompt, which is based on the presentation you just completed or not completed, I don't know. They'll give you 4 pre-recorded questions. And you have after each question, you have 40 seconds to answer. And similar to the first presentation guideline, you don't have to speak full on 40 seconds as long as you respond to the prompt. Say, what was the most difficult part of your presentation or research? And as long as you reply satisfactory in terms of question context, you're good. And that is a 15% of the score, which is pretty high. So 35% goes to the speaking of the free response questions. All right. And we have another section in the free response question that is writing/typing. First part and second part equally will give you 7.5% of the score. Story narration, I will give you what that means. It's like 4 blocks of pictures, all right? And you're gonna write a story based on the 4 provided pictures. So as long as you can kind of summarize who the main character is, when, where, who, what happened, that kind of 5W1H, how, that kind of thing, then you're good to go. But you only have 15 minutes. So yes, we will be practicing making a storyline fast enough. Without much of errors. Yeah, kanji typing too. So this part, first part of the free response writing section does not involve reading. However, the second part is a partly reading comprehension, meaning you pretend to receive an email from whoever, and then based off on the email, you're gonna have to respond appropriately. Respond like meaning like if somebody asks you to do this, then you're going to have to answer with that specific request or question. All right, so that is 15 minutes each, and it's a typing type of answering system. You're not writing, so no writing, free writing thing. It's free writing meaning like you don't use a pen or pencil. I mean, you can write a maybe graphic organizer and stuff, but that's it. And here is a score that I am putting it up. It's a 50% total. Free response question 1, speaking 20%. Free response speaking 15%, and 7.5. That is a total of free response type question score. All right, so that is the summary of a new format. Yep. And I just want to give you what kind of multiple choice questions you can expect. And this is kind of more specific. Unlike last year, they used to say, oh, around 40 questions or whatever. They give you like exact, this would be a 25 questions. So basically you would hear 5 sets of listening sound file. I would say each sound file would have probably 5 questions, and all of that is to total 25 minutes you have. And then percentage of your scoring is 25 score. Is basically 1 question, 1%. Reading is similar, but it's slightly different ratio. So there are 30 questions. There will be 6 sets of reading, like articles, emails, some kind of a guide, any kind of a reading sentences. And then you would have 40 minutes to answer 30 questions. So it's very specific, give you exact number, which is nice, but well, it is what it is. So that is it. This is a new AP Japanese language and culture exam format. What's coming up new? I'm going to go dig deeper into second part of the video will be what is project research free response presentation is all about. So look it up when it's available. さようなら。